Welcome to Holding Space. Michael Zen is a visual producer and creative photographer using his imaginative visionary energy to channel Zen and hold space for spiritual and innovative discussion. Each episode creates a supportive, accepting, and open environment that allows exploration and expertise to come together with engaging and entertaining convergence. With guest and community all helping the shape of the way, Michael is grateful to be together to hold space. Now here is your host of Holding Space, Michael Zen.
Hello, hello, hello. Here I am, your host of Holding Space, Michael Zen. I was just defined by my own introduction. I'm excited about that introduction. I love listening to Todd and the way he describes what this show is about. You are tuned into the Sacred Spiral Network, an amazing place to be. I do say so myself. I love it here. I show up once a week and do my own show, but there's a bunch of shows here with amazing people having amazing conversations. And so if you don't subscribe to this chat, my show, or wherever you're watching this, the channel that you're watching this on, because the Sacred Spiral Network goes out to so many different networks, YouTube and Facebook and all different channels. And so it's a great audience. So let me thank you guys for being that audience. Of course, I see Evie out there. Hello, all beautiful souls. She also is reminding me the hashtag live protocol we all love to play here. If you type in hashtag live in the comments, you know what you're doing? You're actually tickling the algorithm and telling the algorithm that there's something going on that people want to check out, and or like, you tickle someone and they react. So it's a good thing. What is up, Kelly Brickle? Shout out to the hub of the Sacred Spiral Network. Again, one of my favorite places to be. This is Holding Space every Tuesday. I do this. It's October 21st. I hold space for an amazing guest, and I was just thinking before the show how grateful I am for this, because my interest, the conversations I like to have are about awareness, about the shift in perception that's going on, the changes in humanity, the idea that in the 70s, the feeling that I had, the air around me, the essence of existence felt different than it does today. And I love exploring that. And I think that's where we are. And the Sacred Spiral Network is like the home to a lot of people who kind of have metaphysical connections to that idea and that concept. And what I love about it, what even brought me here, is it all resonates the same to me. It's all source, it's all energy, it's all the same. Angelo is here from the Matrix. Welcome. I'm glad you've taken a break from the Matrix for a moment. Kelly Brickle sending love. And Evie is waiting for Sage. Awesome. I love that. Oh my God. Sage has her own fan base, I guess, now. And I just gave Sage a pronoun. I don't think I ever called Sage by a pronoun before, but I guess I would say my relationship with Sage, it would make sense that Sage would be a female. So anyway, Jennifer Rose is tickling the algorithm. Nice. So what I like to do, if you've been here before, it's a little bit like a class, like a yoga class. It's like a stretch before a yoga class gets you all ready to be in the same space. What I do with Sage is I ring Sage. I don't know what it's called when you vibrate the bowl. I rub Sage, and I vibrate the bowl, and I do 3 deep breaths in and out. And you're welcome to join me. I would appreciate if you did. If you do, that's cool, because it's kind of like a collective energy out in the universe. So it's like in through your nose, you just hold it for a second. And when you push out, what I do and what I would recommend is you intentionally push out the things you don't need anymore, things that happened today that you didn't like, you got stuck behind somebody, whatever happened that you didn't like, you got a bill in the mail, I don't know, whatever it was, let go of it. It's not worth holding on. That's what we're doing here with Sage. So 3 breaths with me, if you guys don't mind. Here we go. One nice in. Release. Another breath in. Feel it as you let it go. Really intentional breaths. Last one. This deep one. Just let it go. The other thing about that little ritual is just being reminded how simple it is to breathe and to just be grateful that you're alive. And that's what keeps you alive. That's what keeps us alive, breathing. It's what connects us to everything. I'm super excited for tonight's guest. If you are a watcher of the Sacred Spiral Network, you've probably seen him on a bunch of other shows. Somebody who is just a wealth of spiritual knowledge and energetic charm, an energetic signature that you feel. One of those people that I just love watching. So I'm super excited to actually have the opportunity to have a conversation and bring right here to my show. Welcome to Holding Space, Colin. How you doing, Colin? Colin Minorca Conscious Group. I think you're on mute, Colin.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Mm,
Michael.
welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
Amazing. Great to be here. I've been waiting to get on, well, or to visit you or chat with you. Seen so many of your shows and I thought, Michael's got nice energy. I think I'd like to chat with him.
Awesome. Oh, wow. Well, much appreciated. Much appreciated. I think that's what it's about, and reflected right back to you, watching your conversations. It's all about energy, and I think authenticity has a way of shining through the airwaves, through conversation, through people's essence. We get to kind of feel that energetic signature. And what's so cool, I think, about what I was talking about, this shift in perception, is people starting to be aware of that, right? Just in day-to-day relationships and
Very much.
day-to-day experiences. I love it. It's awesome. It's awesome. I see a bunch of people coming in. Welcome, Charlene. Welcome, Tracy. Welcome,
Hi, Shaz.
Faith. Wow, this is great. I love a good virtual party. Um, but I think we should just jump right into some conversation, because again, I've seen some of your conversations, and there's a lot of great information, what I like to call infinite wisdom, being passed back and forth and out to people. And I believe that sharing our experiences as individuals is just a way of raising the vibration of the collective as a whole,
Yeah.
right? We get to kind of what's the word? Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, I can't think. Empathetically, kind of experience, somebody's experiences through them telling the story. So that's why I love kind of doing this. And Tim says, thanks, letting go of my stress, finding out I can't have MRIs, but that's it. You get it, Tim. You're here all the time, um, with these crazy stories of what's going on, and you're always here, ready to release it, ready to jump off the hamster wheel for a minute and experience this with us. So thank you for being here. Um, so I took a little bit of a look deeper into who you were, right? I'd only kind of seen your interviews and your website and the book that you have, and I got to start thinking about what we could talk about. And
Right.
so for me, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the audience is very familiar with spiritualism as a religion, but I was familiar with it as kind of like an essence and a way of life, but not really more formally, I guess you would say, as a religion, to say, oh, I call myself a spiritualist. I just kind of said, I'm human. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm connected to a higher power, whatever it is for me. You know what I mean? I'm very open to whatever it is for anybody else. If people are religious, and those are their higher powers, I'm certainly respectful of it. It's just the
Yeah.
idea of faith to me, right? Believing in a higher power is, I think, the key there. Um, so You know what? Before I start asking you questions, why don't you tell my audience, who may or may not have seen you, some of the Sacred Spiral people have, who you are, how you came to be exactly who you are,
Uh,
if you can do
Listen,
it, in the hour that
I'll
we have.
make it as short as possible, Michael, because we probably think similar on that one. I've never been able to title myself as such. Um, Medium, channel, etc.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't sit right. It's almost as if the time of labels is coming to an end.
I love
And
that.
and I think what you mentioned, that what I think is one of the most relevant words of the day, which is authenticity. I think authenticity may turn into be the new label, because
Mm,
we'll sense another soul's energy by it, and we'll attune to that energy, or merge with it and blend with it according to the authenticity we're sensing from that other vibration.
mhm,
So, and
mhm.
maybe that's where, I don't know, so the title aspect is, and authenticity is like really going up some gears now.
Right.
And I love
Sure.
it, because I really think what's happening is, in this process of the change, what you're talking, this shift in consciousness, um, part of that process is to vibrate at those higher frequencies, what's called the higher frequencies, this higher and lower business. We're still stuck with certain
Mhm.
language, even that's got to go.
I love
Um,
that you say that. I love that you say that.
yeah, it's like, it's almost, we're going to get to a point where we're probably going to be beyond human language, and we're just going to sense each other's beautiful awareness, and interact telepathically. Um, Even that I'm cautious using, but consciously, on certain levels. So, but just quickly, I experienced um, I don't want to say full blown awakening. It was as good as I had an experience many years ago. Um, my life was moving that fast and rapid. Just what I thought was the normal way of life, and like we all do.
Mhm.
We've all got the same story to tell. It's like, okay, this was happening and this happened, and here I am. So kind of that's it in a nutshell. um, but it was a phenomenal awakening, and the old Colin died completely, and I was left in that moment, in the presence, just in the presence of pure light, whatever plane of existence it was going on. I still can't put a kind of level to it.
Mhm.
I don't wish to anyway, because it's too pure. It would probably be disrespectful to it. And left in the presence of um, angelic beings, celestial beings, etc., whatever form they was, but there was light beings.
Mm.
And I think, again, what we try to do is define something what we don't fully comprehend, because
Mhm.
human
Mhm.
language can't really define the light,
Agreed.
what we're
Agreed.
all talking about.
Right.
So I mean, it helps terms. I mean, like in the book, it's all
Yeah,
about
yeah.
terms.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because that was the conversation I was having with Jennifer about the book right before, is, these terms are great. I love the terms, and I love this as a resource for people who may be experiencing something that they can't understand, or they're trying to define.
Yeah,
But all of those terms, I can read the definition of the term, but they're all about experience and a feeling. They're not
yeah,
about words, right? And that's exactly what
100%,
we were
Michael.
saying. Yeah, that's exactly
100%.
what we were
I mean,
saying.
I was aware of this when I was writing the book, and it's like, well, what we're doing here is laying out a structure in order for us to comprehend or make sense of these facets of what's going on to all of us,
Mhm.
by the use of trance, mediumship, consciousness, awareness, etc., using all these multitudes of human terminology, because we know they're relatable at the
Mhm.
moment. Well, they're only stepping stones, and it's like, forget it. You read the book and just bin it. It's gone. The thoughts. So as much as informative as it may be, it's merely a stepping stone. And in effect, it's telling people in the book, this, guys, is just, it is just a stepping stone to your own experience.
Yeah, I love it. You're so speaking my language, exactly how you speak about the book, how you speak about um just experience, right? About frequency, like higher, the term higher vibration, right? Like we've put language to that, and it sounds like, well, that's better, isn't it? It's if it's a higher vibration. And I totally get where you're at, and I love that you even laugh when I say that, because really, like, I feel like I agree with what you said. We'll be at the
Mm,
point where it's all going to be one thing. It's not going to be a higher or a lower, a good
yeah,
or an evil, right? Because they're
yeah,
all going to be part of the same thing. And I know that's a hard thing for some people to wrap their head around, but I agree with you, and I even, it's kind of funny, the idea of the higher self, right? It's like it's I love that you laugh when I say that. It's great. I just wanted to pop this up. This is your website. I'm going to run it across the bottom if people are interested in this. The book, The Index of Spiritualism, that we're talking about, that has all of these terms in it. But I love that. Let's talk about that a little bit. The idea of higher self. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, right? Like, we need language because we are
yeah,
human in this form, or this um, I'm not even going to use, in this frequency, we're
yeah,
human,
yeah,
right? In other
yeah,
frequencies where we exist right now, we sometimes refer to that as our higher self, but really
yeah,
it's just another aspect of ourself, right? Because it's still us, it's still ourself, it's still
yeah.
the individual ideation of the source, which is the bigger picture as you zoom out,
It's
right?
like to be honest, we're fumbling around in the dark trying to find,
Yeah.
trying to, you
True.
know,
You
uh,
know what? Let's just sit here and gaze at each other, Colin. I mean, that's the best thing that we can do, right? Like, why even talk
get
and
that ball on the go,
mess it
Michael, and
up
let's
with
go for it.
words? I
Get
love
Sage
no,
on
I
the
lo- I
get
love what
Sage
you're
on the go,
saying.
and we'll just tune in.
That's right. We'll just have people, everybody just look at your screen right now and
Yeah,
smile and feel the love and know that you're looking at a reflection of yourself, another aspect of yourself. I mean, it's so hard to to say in human terms because it sounds so
yeah,
odd, but when you feel it, and you say it, you laugh, you chuckle. I love that.
yeah. I mean, we've got to have, and write in the book. I've got three more on the go. Letting go, mediumship, and there's a bigger one, cosmic christening. Um, all kind of getting ready to come out. But so from that point of view, and I've never classed myself as an author, but from that point of view, writing the books, etc., and you go, right, guys, um, these are not really up to much, all right, the reflections that help us in a way that helping us. This is going to take a moment, Michael, because
Okay, no, take your time. I kind of probably know what you're gonna say. I think I
yeah,
I, I
you
I do
probably
know what you're
do.
gonna say, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you say it, and I'm gonna receive it as you say it.
it's like we're gathering words and language, which is taking us back to the awareness of our own emptiness.
Mm, hmm hmm
So we're going to
hmm
have to empty because we are beings of emptiness.
hmm hmm hmm
There's no restrictions and no limits, etc., etc. And like you said, there's no higher, lower, etc. So we're using all these terms just to get back to ourselves. Or not, I don't want to say back to ourselves, but to get to that point in our own inner light where there's a clarity, and in that clarity, it's empty. So we're filling ourselves up just to teach us how to empty ourselves.
hmm hmm hmm
If that
hmm
makes sense. But it does make sense.
And of course it makes sense. Yeah, the whole idea of being here to experience each other and ourselves and this thing called life. And I think that's what puts the smile on my face and your face. It's like,
It is.
listen, folks out there, like, this ain't perfect, and I have a job and I have to work, and but
Yeah.
but but even as I say it, when I say I have to work, I don't have to work. I get to work. I am in such a place with life that, like, Colin, I can see that reflection in you, like, yeah, sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle, but then you realize, you know what, that's a human limitation. That's just a
Yeah.
temporary moment, that
Bring it
all I
on.
need
Bring it on.
all I need to do is get past it. That's all I
It
need to
is,
do.
yeah.
All right. And the quiet healers
So
out there. Good
just
to see
going
you.
back to, if I may, Michael, just going back to these higher, when we talk about the higher planes and the higher levels, I get it, I understand it, where again we're using terminology to express something in order to define it so we
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
get some kind of clarity of what's going on regarding the whole, all the facets of the whole. We're piecing the
Right.
jigsaw together.
Right.
And then, but it's also got other connotations, because when the higher self and higher frequencies are mentioned, we've got to be cautious not to fall into the trap of self elevation,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
because it can come across as that. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in tune with my higher self. Well,
Right.
that can be very intimidating and belittling for some minds. Oh, okay, they must be above me.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we need to define this clearly. Go, no, I don't mean it in that way, guys. I'm just trying to express what's going on with these frequencies and wavelengths.
So
And
I
when we
feel
talk
like
about, cool,
I feel like I'm having an aha moment here. Um, so higher, and it's based on this conversation of higher, lower, and
yeah,
better, worse, right? Kind of better,
yeah,
worse, right? Because those are two ends of a spectrum,
yeah,
right? The spectrum is the whole thing, right? And better and worse are both parts of that spectrum. But
mm,
what makes better better, right? And of course, on the spectrum of better and worse, well, it's obvious better is better, right? But let's take the spectrum of hot and cold,
yeah,
right? What's better? And so the aha moment I'm having here is, well, what's better is what your preference is,
yeah,
right? Like, where do you prefer to be on that hot? Do you prefer it when it's a little
yes,
more cold? Do you prefer it when it's a little more hot? Then go there. Then
yeah,
do that.
yeah,
I think that's the idea of higher self, right? So there's this spectrum of me, right? And higher self, lower self, but anywhere on that spectrum where I prefer to be is where I should be.
yeah,
And
totally,
that's
100%,
wow, that
100%.
was just a
And
I don't know. I'm glad that makes sense because that just kind of hit me like as a way to explain like cold and hot are
yeah,
what's better about cold or hot.
well, I mean, it's perfect, because it's like, if we're laid on the beach and we're getting too hot, what do we want? We want the cold, because we need to cool down.
Exactly. Right. Oh my God, brilliant. So brilliant.
You know,
Exactly.
hi, Tani. So what we're looking at, and you've just said another word which leads into it, doesn't it? The spectrum. What we're dealing with, I believe, at the moment is humanity is has been working off a specific spectrum of frequencies or wavelengths.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when we say, um, or when we relate to everybody, the spectrum is like the ocean of awareness. But at this stage of evolution, okay,
Hmm.
so we need to feel and sense and have the realizations of all those frequencies of that spectrum. Otherwise, we're going to be missing something when we leave, so
Hmm.
to speak.
Hmm.
But maybe we should also be conscious that this is just one spectrum of awareness, what we're all vibrating at. That's why we can say, yeah, I relate to what you're saying.
Hmm.
How do we
Hmm.
relate to what somebody's saying? It's because we're feeling the sense and we're aware of that same frequency from that spectrum, which we all exist within. What's
Right.
happening now, I think, is we're experiencing more spectrums. More spectrums are coming into being, or into our awareness. Or they've always been there. Our awareness is opening up into them,
Wow.
and then we
I
start.
love what you're saying so much, and I remember discussing this kind of like months ago with my wife about the shift, right? What is the
Yeah,
shift, right? And to me, and I was saying that because I've heard it described so many ways, right? Oh, we're going from 3D to 5D, and I feel like people feel like there's going to be some sort of like physical shift. but the
Yeah.
shift to me is perception. The shift is going to happen
Oh yeah.
here in how we see things,
Yeah.
and what you're saying exactly, the ability to see
Mm.
more things that we haven't seen before, and that's starting to
Precisely.
even manifest in the ways of
Yeah.
extraterrestrials, right, and angels and all
Yeah.
of these channeling, even channeling is like
Yeah.
it's becoming more and more prominent
The
in
norm.
society, and that's
And
the shift.
the question I've got: why is the fourth D being skipped?
That's a good question. What do you think the answer to that is?
It's like this is human nature. It grasps too far
Mhm.
before it's even when we're driving along the motorway, we know if we go very fast, we're going to miss the beauty on either side of the road. So it's like, so I'm at point A and I need to get to point C, but I need to go through point B. I've got to go on the motorway to get to point C.
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody's mind's projecting now. So this is what we can liken it to skipping from the third dimension to the fifth dimension.
So
Everybody's talking about 5D.
yeah, yeah,
And
I
I'm
think you
going,
might have
guys,
an
what's
answer.
happening to the fourth one here?
I
Can
might
we
have an
have a
answer for
conversation?
that. I read a book. Lori Ladd is an author who wrote a book called The Divine Design, and it talks about the creation of Earth and the third dimension from the 12th dimension, and it's very,
Right.
very. It took me a long time to read it, but
Yeah.
it was. I didn't feel like I was reading. I felt like I was communicating with this information. Like it was
Yeah.
just a very interesting experience. And I do believe, if I remember correctly, it was a while ago. The thing she said about the fourth dimension was, um, I don't want to say the negativity, that wasn't it, but the fourth dimension included a lot of kind of heavy, bad stuff, like shadow stuff and things that, we had to go to. So I think that
Right.
that's why people are skipping into the 5D because I think we're in the 4D now. I mean, the
I
shape of the world, and what
yeah.
I'm talking about, I'm laughing and I'm joking, but I'm talking about energies that are out there that are very strong and influential,
Mm,
like fear and
yeah.
and and anger and division, right? Those things, even
Yeah.
for the most spiritual of us, I am triggered all the time trying to be like, what's wrong with you people? Why? What's wrong with you? Why? We're all human. Stop hating each other, right? But
Yeah.
even that energy is like anger, right? And
Yeah.
and so it's an interesting time that we're in right now. And I think I want to kind of acknowledge some comments that we got
Yeah.
before,
Please
and
do.
the idea
Yeah.
of the reflections of each other. The first one I wanted to acknowledge was I didn't understand it at first, and then I understood it. Somebody, where is it? Oh my goodness, it's way back. Wow, so many comments going by. You guys are awesome. I love it. Um, the comment was, "Oh wow, did you have your ears lowered?" And I didn't understand that at first, and then I remembered I got a haircut. So thank you. I think it was Faith that noticed that I got a haircut. I didn't even remember. I'm like, what does that mean? I got my ears
Terrible sense
lowered.
of humor, whoever that was.
Is something wrong? Um, but then there were a lot of comments about reflections of each other and the reflections of love that are in this room. But I think that's also true in the opposite. Something that I've been noticing that's really been helping me look at myself and shape myself is when I have an experience with somebody that isn't a pleasant interaction, right? And
Yeah.
I'm having a problem with someone, they're getting angry at me or something. And I had this occur recently. Somebody was getting angry at me for something I was saying, and I kind of chuckled at it because I was like, "Oh my God, look at the energy that's happening." And I saw it on an energetic level, and that just made him madder, right? Like because I was
Yeah.
laughing at him. And it wasn't until I was able to kind of say, wait a second, what's happening here with the energy, and take a look at that reflection and say, I get it. I get why you think it's condescending for me to chuckle at you when you're getting angry, but I didn't mean it that way, man. And I apologize, right? And I was able to better
Pacify the
myself in that.
situation.
Yeah, and really,
Yeah.
again, look at that as a reflection instead of reacting and saying, oh man, that's you getting mad. That's not me getting mad, right? Even though literally it kind of was, but there was a reflection there that I needed to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, get
So
it.
I love that perspective, and I love this amazing audience that sees all of those amazing ways to be. Essence and energy is so important these days, to be aware of it and intentional with it.
Mm.
So I can really
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
It's like
Uh,
I'd like to say hello to everybody if it's okay, Michael.
yeah, absolutely. Go
I,
ahead.
because I just love it. I'm always conscious. I have to say this. It's like I love doing these shows, but I'm very conscious that everybody, when they join us, is like
Yeah.
that's the collective. Is not. In fact, the word collective is overly used. That's all of us as souls and lights coming together. So,
I love
which
that.
creates the whole space for me. And I'm always conscious that although we're interacting and seeing each other, I can't see these guys and everybody in the chat, but I'm like really conscious of them. And I'm also conscious that when we're all together in this kind of beautiful, supportive energy, something else is happening on other planes of existence. Our energy together is changing something in a magical way on a
I love
completely
that.
on totally different vibrations. What we're probably most of us not consciously aware of. So I really I don't know. It does something to me. It's like
I
so.
love
Thank
that.
you to everybody.
You just gave me a great new perspective on that energy that happens, because that's one of the things I love about the Sacred Spiral Network. And I imagined when you said that, everybody
Yeah,
here in the chat room, all of these souls that you're talking about, just partying around a big bonfire, just like we're all hanging out around a big bonfire right now,
yeah,
and
yeah.
loving and feeling each other.
And
I love
everybody's
it.
higher self is kind of laughing and dancing and filled with joy and light.
I love it. I
So
love it. All right.
thank you, everybody. Yeah,
Thank you. Yes, thank you. And thank you for reminding me to thank everybody, because I think I love that. I love when Suri thanks everybody for being here, because again, it's not just my intention and your intention of being here. It's your intention, you guys, the audience, you guys,
yeah.
for being here and listening to this. So we're actually getting some questions that I think are for you, and I think it's perfect forum for it. And Bernadette is saying, "What is a trance medium?" I know, I should know, but I don't. So this is related to your book, and why it's just words, but it's important because people need to know in order to move forward into that knowledge.
Michael, I think you should answer all the questions and I'll introduce everybody.
um, ooh, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I want you to, but
Yes, come
I'm
on.
gonna give it a shot because I'm here exploring my own power, right, and trying to figure out exactly what that is and how much
I
it could
love
be.
it.
So a trance medium, I believe, is somebody who can um, focus their energy enough to allow another energy to come through, like another soul, another consciousness to come through and communicate through them, whether it be through talking, light language. I mean, I guess I've even seen people who do just motion kind of stuff, singing. But I would say it's somebody who can allow energy to communicate through them that is not their own. Would you say that's
Brilliant
accurate?
stuff. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can kind of just put a couple of bits in and just say in its original state, it was always connected to the spirit world, where discarnate soul would come forward, as you've
Okay.
described. Another form of communication would come in, and the human mind, or the mind of the medium or channel or vessel, is taken to one side through into an altered state, and that discarnate soul from the spiritual planes, it steps in and inhabits the space, not so much the body, it's in there somewhere, but inhabits the space
Hmm.
sufficiently enough so it's their thoughts, what they're transmitting or communicating. And the medium's mind is not interfering or contaminating the message.
Hmm.
So, but the way you've described it, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and
what we're seeing now is an overlap between a merging between trance from the spirit planes and the souls and discarnate souls on all those planes of existence, what we refer to, or what's always been referred to as the spirit world, merging with cosmic and celestial and light beings and star beings now. So there's an overlap taking place between trance and channeling. But pure deep trance is how we've just described it. We can say the shallow trance and mild trance. They're like putting our toe in the water and going up to our knees. Deep trance is we're in the water, we've gone, and spirit's in.
Yeah. And there's all sorts of levels. I've seen it manifest in so many ways. Bernadette says it's like channeling. Yes. I've seen it manifest in so many ways. Bashar is a good example, I think, of somebody who kind of, their personality goes away and this other personality comes and takes over. I've seen people who completely change into different accents, like from another country. Like I said, light language, some people speak, it's a language that you might not even recognize, but I've had personally emotional response to people speaking like language, and I had no idea why. Like suddenly I'm feeling these things and I'm crying and I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm feeling it. And so that's, how can you deny
frequencies
something
and
like
vibrations again?
how can you deny something like that?
Just to chuck this in, Michael, it used to be clearly defined between what is trance and what is channeling.
Okay.
So channeling was always associated with extraterrestrial beings and cosmic beings.
Gotcha.
And trance was never associated with that form of channeling. Trance was always being connected to the spiritual beings, or the spiritual planes, where it was relative to to people what had incarnated on this earth and gone to the spirit world, our family members, etc., guides, people like that. So that clearly defines the two. At the minute, we've got to be, I would say, for people watching things, if they really want to understand it, then observe what it may or may not be. Is it deep trance? Is the mind of the medium stepping in, and is it part of their consciousness speaking? Or is it a discarnate soul or another being communicating, and clearly that's it? And with channeling, is the mind of the channel ascended sufficiently for that cosmic being to come in and transmit that knowledge? So there is a clear kind of standard, but there's an overlap. In the end, we're just going to go, doesn't matter, it's all channeling.
And interesting that you say that, because I think that's what brought me to the space that I'm in as kind of like somebody who talks to people like you and people who channel and people who read Akashic records and all of these things to me feel like the same. You know what I mean? They feel like the same energy, and whether it's a interdimensional being, an alien, an angel, a fairy, a unicorn, all of those things to me, I feel like they all exist here in the realm of thought. It's a non-physical realm, and there are infinite possibilities in that realm, right? So I think those different manifestations, what we're calling them, right, words and language, is how it appears to somebody how they'll understand it. It appears to you how you're going to understand it, like the energy,
Definitely.
I think, and that's what's so cool about this world, and I think even spiritualism, and maybe you can tell me a little bit about spiritualism as a religion. Does that include all of that? I mean, is that accepting of all of that? I would imagine it is.
Well, it wasn't, and I can bear witness to it personally.
Wow.
It was always, and probably somebody's probably going to disagree with this when I say it, but hey ho. So it always kept in a relative sized box, and it was all to do with spiritual healing and spiritual mediumship and philosophy, what was called spiritual philosophy, which is the spiritual teachings, which I've always loved all three of them, rather than just be drawn to one or the other. Philosophy, we can't do anything without the teachings. That gives us our comprehension over what's going on with it. So we need the philosophy, but it only recently became a religion as such, because it was pushed for many years. It wasn't. So in recent years, it's only just become a religion. I mean, there's good and bad sides to that, whatever it is. I tend not to get involved in it. But talking about channeling and light, wavelengths and frequencies and all this, I mean, even when I first came into spiritualism 30 years ago, Oof, it's like you couldn't talk what I'm talking now with light and energies. There's
Right.
like they look at you as you've got three heads, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
well, who are we communicating with then? If it's not
Right.
coming from the light, and the light's got to be connected to energies and frequencies.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. We're just here for communicate with spirit and messages and mediumship. So what's happened now is, and this is the beauty, everything's expanding. So now what we've got is we can now say all spiritual aspects are under one umbrella globally,
Mhm, mhm.
whether it's yoga, Reiki, all this stuff, they're all coming under this, for me, under the spiritual umbrella. So
Mhm, mhm.
spiritualism is in a position now where it's not been forced, but in a way it's been forced. It's like the cosmos is dictating it's got to dissolve its walls,
Right,
but it's been
right, right, right.
contained with it. And I put something out a few months ago, to be honest, Michael, and it was about channeling and channeling cosmic beings. And it was just like a quiet message to anybody who wanted to listen to it in spiritualism. And it was basically an invitation to try and encourage people, or those in the churches and centres, especially in the UK, which is full of them, to welcome these minds in at the minute. What I'm going to be doing channeling, it's going to be new to a lot of the churches because they're used to mediumship and healing. And so there's a resistance there. And it's like, guys, look, we're already seeing the influx of channels now taking place on the planet.
Mhm, mhm.
And in order for us to really get on and get through this change as smoothly as we possibly can, we can only do it together.
Right.
So if we open them doors for these people, instead of, you might have an open circle where generally it's messages from loved ones, now you're getting people sitting in there and they're channeling cosmic beings. And it's like, it's got to be embraced. It must be embraced because
Mhm,
in the spirit of what we call on those other planes, there is that convergence taking place between discarnate souls and cosmic beings.
mhm.
So, and they're trying to encourage us to do the same, to just go, look, guys, everything's open now.
Right.
The change is here. The expansion is
Interesting.
continuing.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, to me, I just kind of call it the physical realm is what we're in, right? And I think there's a non-physical realm, which is kind of
Yeah,
everything else, right? Anything energetic, anything that's
yeah,
energy based, and thought based. I had an experience. I've told my audience here before that probably one of the only experiences in my life that based on language, right, and based on what other people say and talk about, the only experience I would consider a download, right? I would
right,
probably say I've probably had millions of them as far as like getting knowledge, right? But
yeah,
this one felt very different, and it was an experience that basically just told me that everything is up here. Reality is in the realm of
perception.
thought. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's it's perception, right? It's
yeah,
and that's really empowered me to just live with the philosophy of I create my own reality, right? And
yeah.
I get to exist in the 3D realm, in this moment, in this form, right? But there are other parts of me that I can communicate with or even not communicate with and just trust are out there, and a part of me. And
100%.
and that's
Yeah,
that's again, that's what puts the smile on my face and
yeah.
keeps me
Well,
going day to day.
we can throw some thinking on that one, Michael, because we can really like start to play with it. Because when we're looking at the nature of reality, and I mean, the first thing we can say, okay, we're now beginning to accept that we're multidimensional beings, and we've also had infinite number of lifetimes. So then we say, okay, so what really are we? Well, in minimum, we are awareness itself. So, okay, what's within that space of our awareness? Not just our as individual, collectively, but in this instance, what's in the space of our awareness? All those aspects of every single infinite lifetime we've ever had is present right now. Exactly what you was just saying. It's in the space
Mhm.
around me. And it is that which I have been in the experiences I've experienced on any plane or realm I've ever visited to an infinite degree. So then we're talking about our higher self. Well, that's too kind of simplified. For me, there's a multitude of frequencies to the higher self. So then we go, oh, when somebody says, well, I'm talking to my higher self, we can go, what frequency are you talking to then? Which one? Of your higher self. And playing around. But it's telling us that everything is all expansive. I mean, in minimum, we've got 7 bodies, mental, emotional, etc. So they're all intelligence itself. They're consciousness and awareness itself. So we go, right then, I need to have a pause here. So when I'm communicating with whatever I'm communicating with, is it an aspect of all my infinite lifetimes? Is it an aspect of a frequency of my higher self, which is a multitude? I don't know how many there is. Or is it one of my, at minimum, 7 bodies? And if we've got 7, we can multiply that. So it goes on and on and on. So we go, right. So what we're looking at then is a awareness, an infinite awareness, which is made up of, in minimum, of a phenomenal countless number of ripples and wavelengths of awareness, with each vibrating and resonating, which I can actually move my conscious awareness to and take to in any moment. So we know we go into altered states all the way through the day. We're driving, we're in a certain state of awareness. We're having this conversation, we're in a certain state. So we're using all these frequencies anyway throughout the day, whoever we communicate with, at work, family, friends, frequency, all these different altered states, what we're going in. Yep. When we talk about doing it spiritually, when we put the word spiritual to it, or channeling or trance, then we go, so I'm going to these frequencies of awareness now. It's like, well, it's an extension of what you've been doing all day long anyway.
Right.
You know, and you go, which one do you want to communicate with? Where it gets really fun, really, really fun, is I'm just talking about our own individual ones. When we're talking about spiritual beings or cosmic beings and ETs and all the rest of them, they've got their own stuff going on. So it's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'd love to know. I'd love to know more about that, and I guess particularly you and your gift. I know Jennifer mentioned it before. You know, we've. I don't have a time limit. We could go as long as you want, and I know it's late for you.
Don't worry about that, Michael. I'm wide awake.
Well, so do you feel like there's any demonstration we can do, or any kind of like 4D, you know, traveling or visiting, or I don't know what the terminology you would use for.
You mean at the
what
moment?
Are you feeling? What's that?
Oh, sorry. You mean right now? You mean?
I mean right now. Yeah.
Well, I can.
I don't want to put you on the spot. Like, I'll bring you back and we can have a whole episode and do it. But I know Jennifer was suggesting it, and I'm just, you know, I mean, Evie's saying Jennifer. I'm loving the discussion too. So I'm right here. I would love to see what you could do. You know what you do. You know.
Right then. So I was just looking at Jennifer. Spirit doesn't operate in a box. It's limitless. Beautiful, Jennifer.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So, well, clearly we've got beings around us at this minute. We can either do some mediumship or whatever, or we can go into I can dip my feet into some shallow forms of channeling if you want. I don't mind. Whatever
I feel like, you know, I'm gonna let your intuition tell you what this moment calls for. You know, with this audience, you know, you've got I think a good audience of people who are aware and open to, you know, something deeper if you're up for it. Or we can stay relatively, you know, shallow in the atmosphere, wherever you want to go.
I'll tell you what. Let's see what comes. I'll just. They're halfway in anyway, so I know they're trying to pull me back a little bit. So it might just be some words, Michael, if that's all right. Because I know it's okay. Because please forgive me because it's already starting and happening. So there's one particular guy what's been coming in recently, and I know he's been looking forward to speaking. So I just ask everybody, just kind of relax, enjoy it, switch off, take it as you will. It's not deep stuff by any means. So and it will still be my voice. I want to say that. Well, hopefully it'll keep to that. Okay. Some of you may feel and sense a shift in energies. Well. Well, friends, we welcome everybody, and we have a sincere wish to convey that truth which all has been searching for. And we know, we understand deeply, that in the realms of your awareness, in the expansive vastness beyond that which you call time and space, you talk about the song of life and that dance of light. And we wish to invite you to bring that thought into your own inner space and allow that song of life to take place within you. We understand there's great fear of the changes which is happening. But the fear comes from your association to all the many facets and all the aspects which your mind and perception relates and senses. So we invite you now to draw away from some of those aspects and not become involved within them, but to enter that still space within yourselves. And in that stillness, we can draw close and guide you more clearly with a brighter light and a brighter loving energy. And as you open that space within yourselves, friends, that expansiveness of your awareness will appear limitless to your perception, to your high heart and eyes. It's not that we beseech you at this time, but we wish to convey that sense of security and safety. But as you know, most of you, that which you call the earth plane, a small drop in the vastness of space, is but your temporary home. And in the blink of an eye, you will traverse through the layers and planes to a new life, to a new experience, for all is just merely simply experience. There is no form to that which you believe. And it's not that it's so much an illusion. It's merely that which your mind has been attracted to and give attention to. And when you bring your attention and attachment back and dissolve it in the emptiness of your own awareness, then you will feel the beauty in its pure and most precious form. You'll feel the majesty and immense depth, limitless, and heights you can travel to and ascend to here in this moment, without boundaries, without restrictions. So we invite you and ask you that as these beings of light, which are coming to the earth now, communicating with and through you, from all those dimensions of which you talk about and so many more, we ask you to open up to them and feel their joy and their love and inspiration, and let those forms transmit these wonderful teachings and this which you call the earth plane. Allow it to dissolve into your awareness and consider it now as a grid filled with many threads, all intricately woven, all wrapped in a spiral. And you are this, collectively and individually, and the many lifetimes which you have all, each and every one of your experiences brought you to this moment. There is no right and wrong. There is no past and future. All is now. The very thought you are experiencing in this moment is all that you should be concerned with. And this is not about letting go, friends. This is not about moving forward. This is about the moment here and now, within you and your hearts. So allow your hearts to expand and let the joy of life fill each and every one of your hearts and expand with joy into the infinite, into that beyond the void. For there, in that center point of expansive awareness, you'll find your home. And that searching and that quest will no longer be. It is a joy to be present here in this space. And we've been waiting some time to make these communications with you. And as we draw this to a close, dear friends, we ask you one final thing. That you truly allow your light to flourish, to grow, to be in abundance in the very space you walk each and every moment, wherever you may be, so that you may touch and your vibrations may emanate and dance that song of the cosmos to the people and souls whom you come into contact with. And there you will find that collectively you'll take this next step in evolution into that new plane of awareness in its grandeur and all its glory, but most of all, in all its love. Thank you, friends, for allowing us this small moment to communicate with you. We are humbly and always grateful and respectful of each and every one of you and the light of all your souls. Until we speak again, we thank you, friends. I'm coming back, Michael. I'm just letting the energies come back.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm coming back slowly. That was really, really incredible, Colin. That felt so good, and so authentic. Jennifer mentioned to me that was what I would feel, and I definitely did. And speaking of Jennifer, she says, "Beautiful, thank you." Yeah, I think that's very inspirational. I heard your words so loud and clear, or is that a specific being channeled? What were we listening to?
Yeah, there was one particular being, not from the spirit planes, from a different plane.
Okay.
I'll be able to open my eyes in a minute. Do you know, it's funny because I nearly switched the light down low before we started
No
tonight.
worries. No
So
worries.
if
No
it's
worries.
the eyes, if I open my eyes too quick, I know it's going to catch my eyes.
Courtney just said, "Give him a second, Michael." So you have some friends here who know how you work, and and
Thank
again,
you.
no, that I am so full of gratitude and love right now. Thank you so much for those words. You said, "Oh, it's just going to be a few words," and you came forth with some truly great words and great knowledge that I think, honestly, I think we all need to remember. We all need to know that we know those things, and those things are a part of our cosmic web, like you said, our cosmic essence. That was really really great. Very
It's
very good.
I thank you so much, Michael, and thank you everybody for staying with us through that. We really appreciate it. But I just want to qualify this. It's that was just that wasn't deep trance or deep channeling. It was just a shallow form where I went in through just maybe a few frequencies or vibrations into
Hmm.
that altered state, So I was very much still conscious of what was said, and clearly, even though I was using my own voice, there was close to stepping in to try and change the voice, but that didn't take place. So it's just a form of what I would say shallow to mild.
Yeah,
Trying
yeah.
to tell you.
You know, to me that felt like a there was like a cosmic spiritual philosopher, right? That
Yeah,
was just coming through. It was just
yeah,
like basic knowledge on how to live
correct.
and love each other and just be your best self
Yeah,
and love yourself. You know, Jennifer Rose and I have had shows specific to self-love, you know,
mm,
and kind of some of these things that, you know, to you and me we laugh about because they're kind of basic, right? They seem kind of
yeah,
basic, right? But I know for me, my life is absolutely changed just through some of those basic things, right? Just being able to love myself and not
yeah,
judge myself and you know, I judge you know, I'm again, I'm human. There's the human aspect of me, so I do fall into those traps. I do judge others, but what I love these days is just kind of being aware of that, right? Like I'll be judging someone and I'll be talking to my wife and oh this person that and I'll be like, why am I feel bad that I'm saying that stuff, you know? Like it's like why am I
yeah.
judging that person? Like they are no higher or lower than me, right? Like as we're talking about. They're
It's you know, Michael. For me, it's all about equilibrium. There's no balance. There's no up and down. It's just equilibrium and a constant state of equilibrium. We are
beautiful.
all phenomenal, beautiful beings, all of us. And this is, to be honest, I really love the fact with Jennifer and Kelly and Sacred Space. And I'm not doing this to blow and advertise. I don't do stuff like that.
Hmm.
But you guys have created such a beautiful, supportive space
Hmm.
for each other
Absolutely.
and for many souls what are coming. And we can only do that. We've got to, for me, we've just got to continue to do that, to keep trying to be as supportive as we possibly can of anybody
Beautiful.
what comes into the space and raise them up, lift them up without praising them too much because obviously that inflates the ego.
And
We're guilty of.
all I want to do right now is praise you for what you're saying and be like, you're so right. And it's so, but you're
Yeah,
right. You're right. And I think
yeah,
that's the beautiful thing about this audience, you know, and this space is like, we all know that we're all grateful for being here in this moment. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's why we come back. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's just a beautiful thing. Jennifer saying thank you, and I'm saying thank you again. You know, and Faith is saying
Thank
just
you, everybody.
on a
Thank you.
different place in their path. That's right. The woods is full of paths. As a matter of fact, all of those paths together make up the woods.
Correct, correct.
Right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%, Michael.
Yeah, I
100.
love that.
We're just totally thinking the same
I
way.
just came up with that. Faith, thanks for that inspiration. You just inspired a new saying about the woods and all the paths in the woods. It wouldn't be called the woods if it didn't have all the paths.
Yeah,
That's I love that.
I always liken it to we can liken it to a multifaceted crystal, and we're just simply vibrating reflections to one another.
Yeah,
So if we choose to make those vibrations of a beautiful nature, it's inspirational for not just somebody else, but back to ourselves.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
we're like
Totally.
we're just spirals of truth. We're just going
Totally.
around the
And
spiral.
that's the idea of Indra's web, right? The Indra's web
Yeah,
is the crystal reflections of each other in that
yeah.
web. Colin, you are amazing. Jennifer said you were authentic, and I feel like I don't even know if there is a scale of authenticity, but you are beyond authentic. That was just really a great experience talking to you and being around you and just feeling the synergy, right? Seeing my reflection, seeing our reflection, seeing Bernadette's reflection and Faith's reflection and Jennifer's reflection in all of this. It's just such an amazing experience. I'm so grateful for this moment. Like you said, right? There's nothing but this moment. So, you know, let's all just kind of be grateful and take a nice deep breath
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
and get the
love
ball and get the sage out.
love this moment. Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
Michael, I
Awesome.
really appreciate it so much.
Yes, me too. Me too. I'll definitely have to have you back, and hopefully we'll talk. I know there's a time difference, but hopefully we'll chat online and become quick friends because I feel like we absolutely have a lot in common. Besides the fact that we're all part of the same one,
Yeah.
we have other things in common, I'm sure.
And
So awesome.
and we'll have to invite you over, Michael. We'll have to invite you on to, because we do some podcasts. It'd be nice to have you
I
over
would
on some
love
of
it.
this.
I would love it. I would love it. Like you said, it's all about being together. It's all about the collective, right? I had a conversation recently with a friend of mine about it. I said, imagine, I'm driving on the road, right? And I'm in my mind, I'm having my experience, but I'm seeing someone else on the road. They're having their experience. There's got to be some collective information that puts us both on that map, right? At the same time in that moment, so.
It's all in the ether. Everything's in the ether.
It's all in the ether. I'm excited to have you back. I'm excited to see you again. Thank you so much. It was wonderful, wonderful to meet you. And Jennifer
Michael.
Rose, thank you for always being there as well. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you as well. So that's my show for tonight, guys. Holding space on the Sacred Spiral Network. Hopefully you got a good taste of what love and energy and intention can do. Because that's what we're all about here. And I do a show on Thursdays called The Live Stream of Consciousness. I don't even know who I've got this week, but like I said, if you like this experience, it's going to be the same kind of energy, and I welcome anybody who feels that way. And until then, peace, love. You got any words of advice or any good dad jokes? I always ask for a good dad joke.
A good.
You don't have to give me a good dad
I'm
joke.
more concerned with saying hello to people. I feel like I'm being
Say
rude.
hello.
So
Yeah, yeah.
quickly
No,
to
say hello.
Tani, lovely to have you with us, Tani, Amy, Lily, Evelyn, Jennifer Rose. Without saying, love you to bits. Love everybody. Nancy, everybody what's joined us, Shaz, Courtney. So thank you, Amy, etc. Bernadette, thank you, Juice. Is it Juice? I don't know. Oh, Jules. It's very, and Kim
Oh, Jules
Princess.
is here. Nice, nice. I love
Um,
Jules.
it's amazing that you've all turned out and took the time to sit and watch and listen to both of us, and of course all those beautiful spiritual guides around myself and Michael, which make it all so magical. So hopefully we'll get to that point where we can have an interactive conversation with everybody. So we'll have to do that on one of my shows, or not my shows.
Awesome, awesome.
On one of them. Thank you so much, Michael.
We'll see
Loved
everybody
it.
soon. Have a great night. Love you all. Bye.
Yeah, love you all.